YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a little review on this Milwaukee M18 Surge impact driver. I've owned a lot of Milwaukee's impact drivers, and this by far is my favorite. So I originally bought the M18 brushed, not brushless, not fuel, just the regular M18 brushed, because it was cheaper, and that thing is a piece of garbage. Just FYI, it's worth spending the extra money. It is. So the first difference between all of the new ones and the original M18 brushed models is this chuck right here. So on the old ones, you have to pull this chuck out, put the bit in, and release to get the bit to stay. On the new ones, you have to pull the collar to get the bit out, but then to put it back in.
Let me hear you say, hell yeah! Hell yeah!
And that is so nice. Warranty is probably the most important part, especially with the Surge, and I'm going to tell you why. If you go to Home Depot, you're going to see that the M18 Surge fuel is $150, tool only, and this is Gen 2. And then you're also going to see that the Gen 3, which is the newer generation, regular impact, is $120, tool only. Why the price difference? I definitely know why. So the regular impacts, it's just metal on metal contact. It's a metal hammer hitting a metal anvil, and it slowly or quickly drives the screw in. But they're loud. So the Surge has a this hydraulic cylinder with this I don't know if you call it an armature or whatever it is that's inside, but basically it spins and it has these two baffles, and it raises the hydraulic pressure and then it drops, and then it raises hydraulic pressure and then it drops, and it does that instead of metal hitting metal. So instantly you could probably figure out which one's more quiet. It's this one, because it's just hydraulic pressure mostly. But if you take hydraulic fluid and you raise the pressure like that and drop it, raise the pressure and drop it that quickly, that fast, the hydraulic fluid gets hot and it starts to evaporate. So over time, and I noticed this, over time, especially if you beat this thing up, if you're putting in 6-inch ledger locks into a deck and you're just going to town, and yeah, this thing will do it. It'll do it all day long. And it does get louder when you're stressing it. It's nice and quiet when you're doing like 3-inch construction screws or under. But if you're stressing it, it does get noisy, but not like the other ones. But I think that is why the Gen 2 Surge is more expensive than the Gen 3 impacts, because they know that this one's going to be coming back for service a lot more than the regular impact. And don't let that stop you from buying this, because the one that I have at work, I've had for about 3 to 3.5 years. And I mean, I use it every single day. It's the most used tool that I have from Milwaukee. It's always on my side or always within reach, is my M18 Surge. I use it and I abuse it. and it's like 3.5 years. I sent it back 3 times. The first time was because the battery got so loose, and I know why. Also, it's from people doing this, and I did it too. So, you know. So when you grab your battery and you're putting it in the drill, people like to do this. Yeah, I know it looks cool, but don't do that. When you put your battery on, push the buttons, gently slide it on, release the buttons. And if you do that, the battery will stay nice and tight. Because the problem was, when I was drilling down, because the drill was vibrating, the battery slouched and it would lose connection, and then it would just stop impacting. So I had to send it back, first time in 3.5 years, and they put a brand new shell. They put all new plastic. The whole outer shell looked brand new. And it still looks rough. Second time I sent it back, which wasn't, I don't think it was a wear and tear issue. I think it was just like a freak thing, you know. There was something wrong in the trigger, which we're gonna get onto the trigger in a minute too, because that's another feature in itself. But the third time I sent it back was because I noticed that it wouldn't impact, man. Like, I would pull the trigger and it would just give it everything it had, and it just couldn't drive a screw. So I sent it to them and I was like, you need to change the impacting mechanism. I already know what's wrong. You need to check the hydraulic fluid and that whole thing, because I know that some of that fluid evaporated and there's not enough fluid left in the chamber to get it to impact. And the first time they sent it to me and they changed something else, and they're like, oh, it's good to go. I went back to work and I was like, nope, it's still not good to go. I called them and I was like, look, I sent this to you. I told you what's wrong with it. Because, you know, I mean, I'm not a, you know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I knew what was wrong with it. I said, hydraulic fluid, check it. So they replaced the hydraulic thing, sent it back, and it was like brand new again. Like, oh, it was so nice. All right, so now on to the triggers. So the original M18 brushed drills, the switch in those is it's a click switch. So it's either contact, no contact. With brushless motors, they don't use those click switches. They use a potentiometer. So basically, the more you pull the trigger, or the softer you pull the trigger, you can control the speed with just your finger, which is awesome for when you're trying to finesse something in, you know, anything. When you're doing finish stuff and you want to, you know, finesse a screw in, and just feel it in. Make sure that you're not going to split or snap the screw off when you're doing tap-cons or whatever. Alright, let's check out a quick video. And I want to point this out ahead of time so that you're looking for it. So the first screw that I drive is going to be with the OG brushed Milwaukee M18 impact. Brushed, not brushless. You'll notice the second I pull the trigger and start driving the screw, it starts impacting immediately. It's loud. It vibrates a ton. The motor gets hot quick. And it sucks these batteries up like it's dehydrated and it needs water. Like, you can go through a battery so quickly with those older drills. And then we're going to switch to the Gen 3. Milwaukee fuel impact. And that one, you're going to notice. And this is where the difference is. And they did a very nice job on this. And the Gen 3 is a very nice impact too. Just, I like the finesse and I like the feel and the quietness of this one. So, the Gen 3, you're going to notice when I start to drive the screw, it starts driving the screw in a bit. And it gets up to a certain torque level before it starts impacting and making that noise. So it gets like almost halfway through before it starts impacting, getting the rest of the way down. Which was a nice added touch because it's like a lot less noise and you only hear the noise when you need it. And then the third one will be this. And I mean, it's really hard to hear the sound difference, the decibel difference, like over the video. But if you're like there in person and you feel the vibration in your hand, I mean, that's where you notice the difference, man. Like, this thing is just like, you don't even really have to push. Like, you just have to put the drill on the screw, pull the trigger, and it's just like butter. You know what I mean? With those impacts, they hit so hard that you have to give it some push. But not with this one, man. Just yeah, let's get into it. Here's a quick difference between the M18 brushed, M18 Gen 3 fuel impact, and the Surge, the legendary beat up Surge. See this? No go. Very nice. Alright, let's see the difference. Yeah, no thanks. Gen 3, regular impact. Loud, but nice. And the Surge. Winner. Surge is the best, man. I'm telling you, don't buy any other drill. Buy this for big stuff. And when that one breaks, you have something else to use. Other than that, I would go with the Surge. Hands down. And yes, the Gen 3 impact did drive the screw the fastest, but speed is not always the best thing. So with the Surge, like I said, you have that absolute finesse, you have that control, you have that feel. There's not a lot of vibration, it's quiet. And because it's not hitting so hard, do you ever notice when you, especially Phillips, man, try to drive a 3-inch Phillips screw, and you're trying to drive it with an impact, and the bit skips out of the screw, and then you like punch a hole in the wood because you're pushing. With this thing, man, you just, especially when you're going straight down, basically the weight of the drill is enough, and you just pull the trigger and it just it's so nice, man. I'm telling you. So hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and maybe leave me a comment, a smoke signal or something, you know? Got any questions or what else you want to see? I'm going to start doing a bunch of my other Milwaukee tools. I mean, I have a lot of Milwaukee tools. I don't have all of them, but I'm pretty close. So yeah, see you guys next time.